What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Running with Friends. It's been like a month since I've said that. I've been kind of busy, but I'm back, and I'm here with a very special guest, long overdue. I've been waiting to do this episode, and it's my good friend, NCAA 1500-meter champ and professional runner, Sinclaire Johnson. How's it going?
Going well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So I know you've been in a lot of podcasts. You've done a lot of interviews. So I feel like a lot people have been asking you a lot about like just your 2019 year and when you won and like now your professional life, but I kind of want to start all the way back at the beginning. And I always ask people when I start, like, how long have you been running for?
So I kind of got into running just because it was a way to stay in shape for the lacrosse season, which was in the spring. So yeah, I started running my freshman year of high school, doing cross country. And can't say I really liked it from the start. But I think like I had I had made it to the state finals in cross country in my freshman year, and I think that kind of helped jumpstart my love for it, just because I was like, oh, maybe I can be good at this. Um, and yeah, I kind of just like spiraled into that, and definitely like the track better. But yeah, I started out in cross country my freshman year, and I feel like every single year I kind of got a little bit more serious, and like started training a little bit harder. And yeah, just taking things outside of running a little bit more serious. So it's been about what, I don't know, like, is that, well, 4 years in
Four,
school,
that's the eight. It's like
and then
10, like 10-ish maybe around
8.
there.
Well, because like this would have been like my 5th year in
Yeah.
college.
So like
So it's,
9,
yeah,
nine,
9, 8,
10 years.
yeah, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, no, I've heard like multiple like interviews where you talk about how like your mom was like kind of the one that
Mhm.
pushed you to run cross country to stay in shape for lacrosse. So like obviously making it to state like your first in cross country your first year running is impressive. Was that like that was like the indicator for you that like okay you might have a future in this? Like right after that, did you like completely give up lacrosse or did you like still continue to play lacrosse for a little while before you kind of gave it up?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that was kind of an indicator, like, oh, maybe like this could be your sport. Just because I'd been so new to the sport, and like to have success right off the bat was kind of like, one, it was definitely not expected, and two, it was like kind of like, huh, if you're already having success now, like what could it be if you actually like train and like you're older, and you have more experience with the sport. So yeah, I think we kind of made a decision, like my parents and I, and even my athletic director was kind of involved in it and was like, I think you should run track in the spring instead of playing lacrosse. So I never actually ended up playing lacrosse in high school, and just went straight to track. And I think my freshman year, I got like 4th in the 800 and at state. And that was also like, I was behind a bunch of seniors too. So my parents were like you could win this race next year, like you're coming back as like the
The
highest,
fastest returner, yeah.
yeah, returner. So yeah, I think that also was like super exciting. And I definitely found more of a love with the sport on the track. I definitely liked the shorter, faster distances better. But did realize that like cross country is an integral part in being like a good middle distance runner. Um, and it's like different too, especially like in high school and college. Like it's so fun to have that kind of like team camaraderie and that kind of
Yeah.
running, because like track is just so individualized, and I like that too because I'm like I don't have to rely on anybody else. But at the same time, like it's nice to have other people like kind of going through the same thing you are at the same time, and just like all like vying for like the same goal. So um yeah, never actually ended up playing lacrosse. But I honestly like don't really miss it. Like I miss the sport. It was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, but like I have just found so much of like a greater love with running, and I like really enjoy competing with running. So I think I made a good decision as well.
Oh yeah, I would say everyone would agree with that. It's crazy. Like we will never know how good of a lacrosse player Sinclaire Johnson could have been.
True,
You
true,
know,
very true.
you probably could have been like one of the best in the nation.
I don't know about that, but, like, the crazy thing is, like, I had this plan, like, I was gonna go to Syracuse and play lacrosse there, and, like, I don't know, I was gonna, like, study journalism, which, if you know me, like, I hate writing. I don't know why I ever said that I was going to do that. But, yeah, to see, like, how things really changed over the course of my high school career, and I ended up going to college in the Midwest and studying economics, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, it's cool, though, like, it's cool to see, like, your path and see how you, like, got to where you are and stuff, and how different you are, like, as a, I don't know, 14-year-old coming into high school versus like 18-year-old leaving college or leaving
Oh,
high school.
100%. Yeah, I feel like everyone going into like freshman year of high school has like this plan where like, oh, in 4 years I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be doing this. Like I thought I was gonna be playing basketball, and look
Yeah,
look at me now. I'm running for a fifth year in college. Like it's crazy how like just life like kind of unfolds itself. But yeah, you
yeah.
said like obviously you found success like real quick, especially on the track. So like fast forward your sophomore year, you're already both two-time state champ in the 800 and the 1600. So obviously like capturing like your first state title, like I mean I know this happened like years ago, but how did that feel for you when you captured that first state title?
um so actually the 1600 was before the 800, and the 1600 was really, really surprising for me and my coaches and my parents too, because, like, I was definitely not the favorite going into that race, but it just so happened that the pace went out pretty conservative, and it kind of just like played into my hands. And with, like, I don't know, 500 meters to go, I was like still with the leaders, and I was like, huh, maybe like I could actually win this race. So I think that race was like the most special state title that I did win. Like I said, it was just so unexpected. Um, And then the 800 was kind of more like there was more pressure and more of like you should win this race and there shouldn't be a reason that you don't.
Yeah.
Um, but obviously, like, going into a race, like, anything can happen. So I feel like to actually be able to like, come through and actually win that race was like super special too. I also remember, I can't remember, like, oh my gosh, I think her name was like Emily Harding. I don't know if you remember her. She like went to
I'm
Sarasota.
familiar.
But she was in 3A. So, like, how like they stagger the races in
Yeah.
Florida. Won the 1600, then like our 1600 was up, and then I won that. And then she won the 800. And I literally remember standing, like, watching her do that and be like, okay, she just double like won, both her events. Like, I have to do that now. Like, I
Yeah,
can't just
you
not.
have to follow that up.
Yeah. So I remember thinking that, and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to win this race now. Um, but yeah, it's just funny, like, how that gives you like more motivation, I
Oh,
guess.
100%, yeah.
But
So
yeah,
then
so
fast forward junior year, like you said, you mentioned like I feel like a lot of people like don't think this, but like you said, like cross country is definitely like an integral part if you want to have success in track. Like you might not like it, and like it might suck sometimes, but it's definitely like extremely beneficial. So your junior year of high school, you got second in the state in cross country. I feel like to me that's probably the most shocking out of your entire like high school resume. To me, that's like it's like Sinclair Johnson, the 1600, the girl who's known for the 16 and the 8, got second at the state meet for cross country.
yeah, I know that was very. That season was so different. I felt like I really went into that cross country season with the mindset that I want to be a good runner. Like, I want to be competitive in cross country, but I also want to be competitive on the track too.
Yeah,
Um, and like, I feel like a similar thing kind of clicked my junior year in college, where I was just like,
yes.
you know what, like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be a good runner. Like, who says I have to be
Yeah,
only
you
good at
don't
the
want
800?
to be put in like a box. You want it to be just overall like just a good runner.
Exactly. So I think going into that year with that kind of mindset just made me think of cross country and just like racing in general, cross country, a lot easier, in the sense that I wasn't like thinking, oh my gosh, I have to run, I don't know, 3.1 miles or whatever, like 5K. It was more of just like, I want to compete, like, I want to beat people. So yeah, I definitely feel like that that year was a little bit shocking, especially for like my previous performances at cross country.
Yeah.
Um, like, I was like, I think someone told me the other day, like, I don't even remember what my placing was in high school, but I think like my freshman year it was like 48th or something like that. And then sophomore year was like 150 something.
Yeah, it
And
was. It was like 140 something.
yeah, yeah. So it's just cool to like, I don't know, just like, I guess for someone who was like notoriously like not really known for cross country runner to like kind of prove myself that season. Um, and then I definitely think that like not only the training during cross country season, like taking that more serious, but also just like having that kind of season and having that like motivation and that fire just kind of like snowball into track season also like helped with the spring season as well. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
you go into track season, reigning champ, trying to repeat. What kind of pressure like did you deal with? Like what kind of like were there people in your ears like saying like, "Oh my God, like you have to do this," like stuff like that. Like obviously when you're coming in as a favorite, there's like all sorts of
Mhm.
people like kind of like talking and you're trying to like mute them out, but obviously sometimes like that's kind of hard. So like junior year trying to repeat, what was that like?
Yeah, I definitely think that there was definitely a target on my back going into those races. Obviously, like with having won the previous year, there was going to be that kind of target. But I don't know. I just also felt like so comfortable and like confident in myself and like what I could do that I just like kind of ignored the rest of it and didn't really look at it as like, oh, there's pressure to win. I kind of looked at it like I want to defend my titles. Like there's no one else um that like I think that can beat me, you know? So I feel like I just like looked at it in a different way. Like I didn't feel like I said it was more pressure. I felt like it was more of like this is exciting. Like I get to see if I can defend my titles. Um but yeah, and it was cool because I felt like that was probably like my most competitive year at state. Just because I think I ended up running like 208 in the 800, which was
That
like huge
yeah, you ran
for me.
208 and 459 that year.
Yeah, yeah. So I broke 5, then I broke 210. So I feel like those two races, like not only to defend my title, but also to run like,
Yeah, to do it
sub
in that
5.
fashion,
And
like
yeah,
there's a difference between defending your title and like getting like an easy win compared to like defending your title and like actually running like legitimate times.
yeah, yeah. And like 4A, the competition 4A had always been so
That's always
stiff.
been stacked.
So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sure you feel
insane.
the same way. Like there is just so many good runners that have come out of classification 4A and then also have gone to like do big things in college too. So
Yeah,
um you knew like I mean even our regional meet was like basically like state. It
ridiculous.
was like you're racing
Yeah,
against the same people you're gonna be racing against
it's
in
like the
a
region,
week
like
or
whoever
something.
like made it out of our region was like guaranteed to medal at state. That's how good our region
Yep.
was.
Yeah, 4A region 1, man.
It's
Like
like if you
I
can
don't know.
survive, if you can survive region one, just know you're going home with a medal again, with a medal home.
Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That was always so crazy to me because like there were some regions that would like they're the fastest person coming out of it would be like, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds slower
Oh
than
yeah,
any of us.
there would be like girls running like 5:30s,
Yeah.
making it out of their region, and you guys would have to like claw and fight to run like sub like 5:10 or under to even like get one of those 4 spots. Like it was insane.
Yeah. It's crazy because you had like Winter Park and Lyman and Winter Springs. Oh, yeah. So, but it was good to have that because then it's like it just prepared you
Yeah,
for
it
the
definitely prepared you,
competition
and
in a week.
it brought the best out of you too.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
they're doing a lot better job now with like the little they're kind of like doing like at large and stuff like that in high school
Okay.
back,
Yeah.
which kind of help benefits people who are like in regions like ours, I guess. Which I
Mhm.
wish they would have done that back in the days, but like whatever, it is what it is.
I know. It's like of course we leave and like things get better, right?
Oh, dude, it's insane. Yeah, like we leaving like it's like the slowest year ever. The year after we left, and it's like
Yeah.
it gets like easier to make it to states, and I'm like, wow, bro, that's crazy. That's
Yeah, because everybody that was like making it fast was in our class and then they're like gone now.
yeah, it's insane. But yeah, no, obviously, like you definitely had like this success throughout your 4 years. I mean, you went on to like repeat in the 800 like 3 years in a row. Didn't win the 1600. That was the year
I know.
where like one of the girls tripped up and like almost tripped up the whole field. Did you feel
Yes.
some type of way that you didn't get both of them that year?
Um, to be honest with you, I was like, I feel like mentally I was just like so checked out of high school running. Like I was so excited to go to college and like start like a new like 4 years and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. And I obviously like I was disappointed with it, but I feel like she was like she had so much more because she fell, like literally
Yeah,
fell
she
and then got
fell,
back up.
came back and won it.
Yeah, and won it. And I feel like she had so much more fire and so much more fight in her
Yeah.
and wanted to win way more than I did. And clearly that showed on that day. But yeah, I just felt like, not to say like, oh, like, you know, I won this like 2 years in a row. Like I don't need to win it a third year, but I felt like part of me was just kind of like, it doesn't really matter if I don't win
Yeah,
because
no, of
I
course.
already
Like
have.
you
And
kind of like you were kind of already proven pretty much. Like winning it would have just been kind of like icing on the cake, pretty much.
yeah. Yeah, and I feel like I was, like, already signed, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I just felt like I was just, like, not like, looking back on it, I wish I would've been more present, and I wish I would've, like, continued to fight, like, that year, or in that race particularly, but I don't know, it was just, like, so different. I just felt like my mindset going in wasn't, like, I'm not really, like, here to prove myself, and I didn't really feel like I don't know. Like I said, I think that I totally don't agree with like the way that I like approached that race or like approached
Yeah.
that whole weekend, but I think I was just like checked out and just kind of like, all right, like this ship has sailed,
Yeah. It's
I'm
not.
ready
It's
to move
time
on.
to. It's time.
So
It's time for a new journey. So
yeah.
obviously you finish out high school, you commit to OSU, one of the top like middle distance programs in the nation. What were some other schools you were looking at during your recruiting process?
Yeah, I was looking at, so I took a visit to University of Texas, which like before the whole recruiting process started, for some reason that's where I wanted to go to school. Um, and I also took a visit to Alabama, and I took a visit to Harvard as well. And Oklahoma State was actually my first visit, and I just felt like a very like a good sense of community, and I felt like that was the school that where I belonged, and I felt like I already had like a family, or like
Yeah.
I already connected so well with most of the women on the team, and then also I really connected with Dave, the coach there. And I think it's just like so important to find somewhere that you really really like, and not just going there. I mean, like, yes, I went there to run, but like at the same time, I could see myself still liking it here, even if I wasn't running.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's so important because like there were times where I was injured or I just like simply didn't make the cross country team. It wasn't like my decision wasn't solely reliant on the fact that like they were like a really good program. So my freshman year was so fun too. Like there was just like coming in that year and just having like everything be new, and then having like Kayla Edwards and like Savannah Camacho at the time and Kaylee Dodd and just like having like all those people there was like really cool to see, and just like have so many people to look up to, because I felt like throughout high school I didn't really have a lot of like older women that were really successful on the team,
Yeah.
and so I kind of had to navigate running and navigate like I don't know, like how to race and like how to do like recover right, and like have like
Yeah.
just
Kind
little
of
things
like
like
all
that
on
on
your own.
my own. Yeah, so it was nice to like come into a team where I was like, I'm on the bottom of the totem pole and I have to work my way up to the
Yeah.
top. And that was like super super intriguing. And yeah, like I said, my coach just had so much success with someone like me who's like, you know, an 800 1500 meter runner, but can also like run well in the 400, but also runs cross country. Like I was just like the ideal like fit for the
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. You're
um,
very versatile.
so yeah, it was a pretty easy decision, honestly. I took, like I said, that was my first visit, and I was like, I don't want to leave, like I want to commit here. My parents were like, no, you have to take the rest of your visits. They
Yeah.
already bought the plane tickets. But I felt like taking those visits just kind of solidified my decision, and I
Yeah.
was like, yep, where I want to go.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
you didn't take a
great.
single visit in Florida then?
No, I didn't. So I was like, I don't know, looking back on it, I was kind of rude to like Florida State and UF and stuff because they tried to recruit me and I was just so anti, like, I am not staying in Florida.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go somewhere different. And I mean, basically my entire high school either went to University of Florida or Florida State. And I was like, I don't want to just go to those schools and then have like the same friend group and like not really like branch out, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so I was like, I want to go. And plus, I can always move back home too. So I was like,
Yeah.
I want to go experience something different. And Stillwater, Oklahoma was definitely something different.
Oh, from
But it
oh,
was fun.
100%.
Yeah, it was so fun. It was like the perfect place to train. It was a good place. So don't regret that decision at all.
Yeah, so you're going to college, like, I think, like, your first year, I mean, you ran cross your first year. And then when it came to track season, you pretty much focused on the 800 that year. Was there a reason why? Like, I mean, you had success both in the 800 and the mile in high school, but I would say like probably the 800 was your best coming out of high school. So was that like a particular reason why your coach kind of just had you racing the 800 and you didn't like even attempt a 1500 that year?
Yeah, I think he definitely wanted to put me in something that I was a little bit more comfortable with. And considering that, like, training, like, I probably ran, I don't know, 20 to 25 miles a week in high school. And to go into a program where, like, my mileage ramped up, like, obviously intensity ramped up. I did get injured my first year. And so I think, like, going into track season, my coach wanted to be a little bit more cautious and just kind of, like, do shorter stuff, and not like really try to like, you know, press the gas pedal too hard and have me get injured again or burn out or whatever. So yeah, we just stuck with 800s. And a lot of times when freshmen do come in that are like middle distance, he will just have them run 800s that first year
Yeah.
because it's such a huge adjustment to college,
Oh,
like being
100%.
away on your own, like having new friends, like having like just like so much free time and having to navigate like time management. And I don't know, it was like helpful to not have like a huge like training change as well my first year at least. But then obviously things like definitely were different my second year. My coach is like, okay, there's no more babying you anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you're going to be working out with the team, doing everything. So, but yeah, it was nice to have that kind of like, I wouldn't even say it was an easy transition because like my freshman year was a huge struggle.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know, just like navigating, like I said, like the training and just like being on a different schedule and college classes and all that stuff.
Yeah, and just life in general, honestly, once you get
Yeah.
into
So
college.
yeah, it was hard, but it was like I had such great teammates and like teammates that I've been through similar things. So like it made the transition still fun. And I like did not have that great of a freshman year. Like literally I ran 219 twice my freshman year in the 800. And I didn't ever run that. Like, I think the last time I ran something like that kind of time was like my freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, to go from like being like winning everything and running like fast in high school to like running so slow and
Yeah,
just like
to
not
struggling to,
work out.
like, even hit those times that you used to, like, can be frustrating.
Yeah, it was super frustrating. But I never really felt like, I don't know, I never really like got that down about it. I think honestly I just was having a lot of fun my freshman year and just like everything was so new and I was like, oh, this is exciting, which did lead to my coach being like, are you even serious about like running? Like, this is
Yeah.
what you want to do. Um, but I don't think he really understood that like I'm just like trying to find my own way too, you know, like I'm trying, like, college is about finding yourself.
Yeah,
And
trying to
so I
find a
feel,
balance too.
yeah, yeah. So freshman year was a lot about just like figuring things out, and like running wise didn't go that great. I did end up running like I think 210 by the end of the year, which is like okay compared to like what I'd done, but it was still like, I don't know. I feel like I don't really ever feel like, because like a lot of people ask me, they're like, well, like, was your freshman year like basically a waste? Like, because if you go back and look at my times, you're like, what the heck? But it's like not really, because I feel like you need to go through those times, and you
No,
need to go through like
yeah,
those
100%.
struggles.
There was lessons learned for sure, which helped you
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it wasn't like a waste. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you always wish, like you look back and you probably wish you could have ran faster and could have been better. By the end of the day, like you definitely learned from that year, which I mean, look where you are now. So like, not really a waste.
Yeah, and it makes you appreciate the good times
Yeah,
too.
100%. I just want to go back to the fact that you literally just said you used to run 20 to 25 miles in high school. Like you're literally dominating the fuck out of people in high school off 25 miles. Which I mean, I guess back in high school, like that's kind of like normal. But when you look at it now that you're in college and like you say, your mileage like ramps up, like 25 miles is nothing. Like you probably
Yeah.
run that in like 2, 3 days.
Yeah, like yeah.
Like
I know that.
you're running that you're running 25 miles in a week.
Yeah.
You're winning state titles, bro. That's
Yeah, like I don't even
insane.
remember really running with a GPS watch. Like I don't even know how I really track my mileage, but it was like our longest run, I kid you not, would be like run to this lake around it and back, and it's like 5 miles. Because now I do it when I go home, and I'm like, I thought this was so long, and
Yeah.
it's like literally a 5 mile run, which is like my shortest run now is like not even 5 miles. So I don't. It's just crazy how like your mindset changes. I was like talking about that today with my friend on my long run, and I was like, it's crazy how like your mindset changes about mileage. Like in
Oh,
high school, a 9 mile run seems like so long, like that I would never run that. But
and
now
now
it's
it's
like
like
a
normal.
run.
That's like
Yeah.
me. Like I did a 15 miler this morning for my long run, and it's like back in high school, like 15 miles to me, it's like, bro, like that's marathon training. And now like I'm doing that like is like, oh, 15 miles, like that's nothing.
Yeah,
Insane.
it is crazy. Definitely takes time to adjust
Oh,
to that
100%.
though.
Yeah. No, that's so crazy. I bet like back in high school, like whenever you guys would go out to Claremont, you would be like, holy shit, like this 10-mile loop, and now you go back and you're like, oh, like this is like nothing.
Yeah, I remember the first time I did like 10 miles out there, and I think I stopped like once for water or something like that, and I was so proud of myself because usually I had like stopped like 2 or 3 times. 10 miles is a lot. But, you know, now it's just any other run.
Honestly. So obviously, sophomore year was kind of like a breakout year for you on the track. You won regionals that year, right? You won regionals.
Yeah.
You beat Jessica. Then you go on to the national meet. You get last on. I'm sorry. I'm
Like
sorry.
dead, like
You
DFL.
hear about? I'm sure you hear about this, and you're just like, "Fuck!" People always gotta bring this shit up.
No, it's okay. It's part of my story. So,
So you get last in your heat. You get dead last in the prelims. You watch from the sidelines. You watch Jessica win. So what it like obviously like those are the kind of moments that like make you like hungry
yeah.
to like get back there. Like I bet like you're probably like, damn, can like I skip to next year already, like kind of thing where you're like, dude, like I just want to be back here already. Like what was going through your mind as you were watching that, like just the finals from the side?
Yeah. So coming off of regionals, my coach pulled me to the side, like right after the race, and he was like, you could literally win nationals next week. And I was like, I don't know about all that. Like I definitely felt like that race was like a huge breakout for me. And I was like, and for the race to feel as like comfortable, I say comfortable, like obviously the race hurts,
Yeah,
but like for it to feel like I feel like in control as much as I did, I was like, maybe I can go faster. Like maybe I am ready for, to be all American or whatever. So I felt like my performance that day was so not indicative of the type of fitness I was in.
yeah.
And it was just frustrating. Like, I just remember going to that race, and I kid you not, like the first lap, I think we ran 64, which is like pretty average. And I remember like my arms felt heavy. Like I just did not feel good. And I felt like I was like all out. And I was like, well, this is going to be a long race. Um, and so, yeah, it was just about trying to hang on for as long as I could. And the wheels came off with like 300 to go. And I ended up running like 4:27, I think. And to go from like 4:11 2 weeks ago to 4:27. I was like, it just doesn't make any sense, you know? And I I felt like I said, like I just had so much more to prove, and that was like such an off day for me, and I just like really felt like I could have been an All-American that weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, like watching that race, it was like so exciting to see it. But at the same time, I was like, I like did not feel like I got to prove myself. Like I'm ready for this race, or I'm ready for next year. Like I want the chance to be able to go out there and like really showcase my fitness. So yeah, it was like hard, but like at the same time, I don't know. I just felt, I don't really know how to describe it. Like I was disappointed, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I was just like, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't like my time. Like maybe I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Like maybe I needed a little bit more experience in my belt. Maybe I need a little bit more, so like, I think everything happens for a reason too. And I think I needed that race to go so poorly for me to be like so fired up the next year and so ready to like come back and do better.
Yeah, no,
So
I feel that's the kind of like thing that happens that kind of just gives you that extra motivation. Like, I mean, I'm obviously you made it to the national meet, so you were already motivated. Like, you've already been working hard, but that's the kind of race where it's like shit. Like, this was so bad. Like, I need to do better. Like, you kind of just look at yourself and you're like, what can I work on, type of thing. And like, I'm sure
yeah,
that's summer you probably grinded out. I mean, shit, you came back cross country that year and you obliterated compared to like your first 2 years.
yeah,
Like
yeah, and
that was like that. It's like you said, like that was like another like your junior year again. Like, cause I remember like just kind of like following you your transition during that cross country season, and you were like, I mean, you almost got All American that year during cross, right?
yeah, I know. I
But
was 48.
like I was like that was insane.
Yeah,
I remember watching the race and I'm like, dude, what the what got into her today, bro? Like, she's not even a cross country runner. What is she doing?
oh, I know. I just felt like I said, like with my junior year in high school, I just had a different mindset, and I was just like, I want to be good at this cross country thing, and I just took it more seriously.
Yeah,
So yeah, almost all American, but honestly, that was like such a huge improvement that I like didn't even really care that I was. I mean, I did care that I was like so close to being all American, but I wasn't. But I was just like, oh my gosh, I just got 48th. Like that's
yeah.
not a 3-digit placing. Like that's a 2-digit
Yeah,
placing.
like that's like yeah,
So
top 50, like that's legit. And I'm
yeah,
sure like obviously like that's the kind of like cross season that like obviously gives you like it's like a confidence boost and like going forward you're like okay, like all the work I've put in and like it's showing, like I'm just ready to like keep putting in the work, like going into indoor and then outdoor, of course.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That definitely. I feel like I said, like just having a cross country season like that just makes it just spirals into having a good indoor season and then outdoor, and then you like hopefully like want it to go longer and longer. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
No, because you like then you go into indoor and you're dropping some crazy times. Like I mean, you're dropping like 4:30 miles. Like I feel like you were like one of the main topic of conversations that whole year. Like just like between like me and the boys, like we have like a little group. Like every time you race, it was like we like someone was saying in the chat like, "Yo, what the fuck, bro? Sinclair just dropped a 4:30 in the DMR." I'm like, I know, bro. She low key would have been on my ass, bro. Like that's fast as fuck.
yeah, I definitely felt like during indoor too, like there wasn't a lot of my coach didn't really like put me in a lot of like, yeah, I was in relays and stuff, but like a lot of people don't really remember like relays like that, and I didn't feel
Yeah,
like I had a lot of opportunities to showcase like actually how fit I was.
yeah,
But I think it was good though. And even like that indoor season, my coach made me choose between the mile and the DMR at nationals because I qualified for both, and I had chosen the DMR. And so, but like in hindsight, I was like, that was probably the best thing because I still stayed under the
under
radar
the
and
radar.
kind
Yeah.
of let like all the hype be around Jessica Hull. So like going into outdoor season, I
Because
had,
they won the DMR that year. You guys got third.
yeah, they won, and she also won the 3K too. So it was
Yeah.
like, all about her. And then
Yeah,
obviously
all hype on her. Yeah.
she was the reigning champion too, or defending champion in the 1500 going to outdoors too. So like there was just like no question, and she was already on fire. It's like there's just no question that she that she would not win the race,
Well, yeah, yeah.
So
She hadn't lost since she won the 1500 the year before.
yeah,
So like
like literally
that whole
not.
indoor outdoor season, like, and then she had a pretty good cross season as well.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, she got like third, I think.
she got like third or fourth. So then obviously she has a good cross season. She pretty much goes undefeated all indoor and outdoors. So obviously like it's like going in, it's like, oh, on paper it's like, oh yeah, there's no way like Jessica Hole loses this thing. But obviously
Exactly.
like people were still talking, even though you kind of were under the radar, people were still talking about you because you had a pretty good regionals performance.
Yeah.
Then obviously when it comes to like prelims and stuff, I feel like, I mean, obviously I've never been in that situation, but I feel like sometimes like the times aren't indicative of how in shape you are because you're just trying to run to qualify. Like you're not trying to go out
Mhm.
there but burst like a fast like nation leading time or like all out. Like
Right.
you do what you need to do to get by pretty much,
Right.
which is kind of
Yeah.
what you did. Like I don't even think you like won your prelims that year. I'm pretty sure you were probably like second or third. Like you just kind of like qualified and you're like you got into the finals. So then that's when people kind of like go hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like it was cool too because like going into the very final race at nationals, Jess and I hadn't raced each other at all in a 1500 like the entire season. Um so I felt like that was just so cool to have like not have raced her in the entire season and then have like our only race of the season together be like the final at nationals.
Yeah,
And I felt like that just like put more hype in my mind about it. um but I remember someone asking me like in the media tent after our prelim at nationals and they were like, do you think you can go faster? And I was just like, oh yeah. Like I was just going into that weekend, I was so confident and like just
yeah,
so ready. And I knew like I was in such good shape and I knew like if I was with Jess Hole with 300 meters to go that I was going to win the race. And I just kind of had to get through like, the first 1200 meters of the
yeah.
race and then it was going to be mine. And it all worked out to be like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it
So
played out. I mean, I just watched the race recently the other day. It was kind of like the BYU Notre Dame girls got like the BYU Notre Dame girl kind of like took it out, and then like you and Jess just kind of like sat behind them, like just let them do their thing. Then like it was like I saw an interview by you where you said like, oh, like I was like my focus was like keep my eyes on the back of Jessica. Like if she went left, I went left. If she made a move, I made a move type of thing. And that's pretty much exactly what you did. It's like you guys were
yep.
behind them when then probably were like 600 to go. Jessica got out to the front. You right there with her, like right behind her. And then like it was kind of like a thing where it's like I even remember watching it live. You were like right behind her. I'm like, bro, like what's about to happen? And then it's like turning the corner. It's like once you guys got off that turn, it's like you went right by her and then just went and like never looked back. And it was kind of like
Yeah.
the same interview you said like you like made it like clear where it's like when I pass her like that's like the only time I have to pass her because like she is an exceptional runner who has like exceptional finishing speed as well. So it's kind of like
Mhm.
where you didn't want it to come down to like a little like kick battle because that's when it's like
No.
if it's tight
Yeah.
and it's like at the line, it's like oh shit, like who won? You kind of wanted to make sure like once I pass her, it's like I'm not looking back and I'm just gone and like that's
Yep.
it.
Yeah. I was like, I have only one pass, like I'm only gonna pass her once
Yep.
because more than likely if she were to come back and pass me, it's hard to come back from that. Like I probably
Oh
wouldn't have
yeah,
passed her.
once you pass someone and
So
you think you got
yeah.
them and then they pass you again, it's kind of like demoralizing. It's like damn, like I thought I had him
Thought
and
I
then
had
come
you.
back.
Yeah. So I just had to be very strategic about when I was gonna make that move because I knew I only had one move to make. And yeah, it worked out. Like we couldn't have my coach and I, it was funny, like before we were going to the start line, we're like, okay, Jessica Harris, who's the Notre Dame girl, like she's gonna make a move with 800 meters to go. Like and Jessica Hole's gonna make a move with like 300 meters to go. And it's like if you weather those two storms, like you'll win the race. And so that's all I was thinking during the race. And if like
Yeah,
it's just cool to see, like to go back and see like, yep, Jess Harris makes her move 800 meters to go. And then like, okay, Jessica Hole makes hers at 300 to go. So yeah, it was just like tactically like probably the best race I've run in my entire life.
Yeah.
So
Obviously, you end up running 4:05. Second fastest. I mean, meet record at the national meet. Second fastest by collegiate, but fastest by collegiate in like an all collegiate race because obviously Jenny Simpson ran sub 4, but she did it at pre-classic where there were professionals in the race. So like once you like finish the race, you kind of like you look up at the screen, you know you won, like and then you see the time, and then you hear that like how did you feel like, and especially knowing that you were
oh my
second
gosh.
behind Jenny Simpson, who's also from our area, which is insane.
Yeah, I think in a time like that, it's so hard to like wrap your mind around like everything.
Yeah.
I was just like so happy that I won and like just filled with like so much validation like for myself personally because I like had been dreaming about this race and have been visualizing it and just like I know I can win this race, but like obviously a million things can happen on race day or like leading up to race day. And even like in the race itself, like so many things can happen, you know? So for it to all to just come to fruition and just have it all like work out the way I thought I was going to was just like a sense of like I don't know, just like I was just extremely happy.
Yeah, it was like I did
But
it. Like this is what
yeah,
I've been working for, and I did it.
exactly. And then looking at the time was just like a huge bonus. And I feel like everything after that just was such a blur because it was like, okay, you just ran like a world qualifying time, like a world standard. And
Yeah.
then I remember like my coach getting calls and like texts about like, oh, is she going pro? Is she not? And I was like, what the heck is going
Yeah,
on
like
right now? Like,
it all started happening so quick.
yeah, it's like one night I was like going to bed, you know, the night before, like I'm going to stay in college for 5 years. The next day I wake up, I run a race for 4 minutes and like the course of like my next year and obviously like the rest of my collegiate career like just completely changes.
Yeah.
So it was like, so exciting, but it was also like so hard to wrap. I remember like staying up that night until like I don't know, it was like 6 a.m. just like thinking. I was just like, this is crazy. Like I was like literally trying to wrap my mind around everything that happened. And I was like, I can't believe that. But it was cool. It was a good moment.
No, I know it. Especially when you're like dying on the infield and people are trying to interview you.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, I just ran in like 100 and I don't know,
Oh,
4-degree weather.
it was scorching hot
It
out.
was literally so hot. It was so humid. It was like 4 o'clock, like the hottest time of the day. I just finished a race, like ran the fastest I ever had, and they're like sticking a microphone in my face. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like you can't wait 10 seconds. I don't think 10 seconds would have been enough. I was like still huffing and puffing in the media tent. So it was just so hot. And I
Oh,
think
I
like
bet.
everything just like having warmed up a whole hour like before, like in the sun, doing drills in the sun and then standing out there and then racing. Like you have to race after being out in the sun for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I was just so drained. I was like, I have never felt worse in my life.
That's where being from Florida came in clutch.
Yeah, seriously. I know, but I'm like, I don't even think like the heat in Florida could have prepared me for that day. Like it was
Yeah.
just ridiculously hot, but you know, makes it tougher. So
Yeah, obviously like you said, you went on to race USA Track and Field Championships. You missed making the team by like 0.15, point something seconds behind Nikki Hill.
yeah. Yeah.
I know that. I bet I was like I remember when I saw, I was like, damn, like that would have been crazy if she made it. Like so obviously like
Yeah.
I mean the women's 1500 in the USA is like stacked like now.
Mhm.
Especially like now, like it's insane.
Yeah. I mean, it was like such a bittersweet race because like one, I feel like it was cool because I had proved to myself like, okay, I'm ready for this level because like between my nationals race and that race, I had been going back and forth the entire summer. Like, do I go pro? Do I
Yeah.
not? And just like hearing from so many different people, like what I should do. So I felt like that race was good and just like reassuring me like, okay, you belong at this level now. Like, I think it's time for you to go.
You have to take that next
And
step.
yeah, but also like bitter at the same time because I narrowly missed out on the team and it was more of like a stupid tactical error. Like my coach was like, you need to be in 5th place at least with 500 meters to go or else you're because you're not going to outkick Shelby Houlihan or Ginny Simpson, you know, like you
Yeah.
have to be in striking position. And I think I was in like 9th place going into the last lap. And I think at like 200 meters to go, I was like, maybe I actually can make the team. And then by that point, it's
By
like
then
too
it's
late.
too late. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like I just went in there like super inexperienced. Like I just felt like I was getting tossed around and just like letting people kind of like push me out of my way.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah, I just did not race very confidently. And I feel like I didn't fully believe that I could make the team until, like I said, like 200 meters ago. So it was a good learning experience though. I feel like I had a lot of takeaways from that race, and I felt like if I just had a little bit more experience in my belt, then I could make the Olympic team next year.
Yeah.
So it was good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like you said, like you kind of like thought about it at like 200, but like it's crazy because like obviously it's a 1500, which is a mile, but like that race goes by so quick that like that's the kind of race where, like you don't have time to like think about shit. It's like you gotta be that in the moment, because if you start thinking before you know it, like you're getting dropped by everyone. It's like crazy. Like,
Yeah, seriously, I was like getting pushed around so much, and I'm like, I felt like by the time I wasn't getting pushed around, I was like, it was like the race was like over, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like I don't even know where I was during this race or what I was doing, but I guess it is what it is. And like I said, I had a lot of good takeaways from that race. So
yeah. So also before you ended up turning pro, you became the only collegiate female to run under 404 and under 201. Like
that's weird.
that's crazy, bro.
That's so weird. I still remember someone telling me that, and I'm like, are you sure? Like, there's like got to be somebody else.
That's insane.
But,
Like, I don't like. I mean, think about how long an NCAA track and field has been around. And for you
yeah.
to be the only one, like, it's so funny to me because it's like, damn, this is the same Sinclaire Johnson that like I used to roast back in the days because like she didn't qualify for the state meet in cross country her senior year, and like look at her now, like what the hell.
Literally, I know how things have changed.
But obviously now you're professional. You're with Bowerman, like as everyone knows. Like,
I am.
I mean, you were still in Oklahoma Stillwater for a little while before you made kind of the transition to Portland. So now you're in Portland. I mean, I know you've only been there for like less than a week, right?
Like 2 weeks,
You've
but
been there
yeah.
for 2 weeks already?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
I
Time
know, it's flown
flies,
by.
bro. What the heck? I feel like you just posted that Instagram post where you were moving like a couple of days ago.
No, it's been 2 weeks.
That's
I've had
insane.
2 weeks of workouts, so yeah.
So how has that transition been? Just like, I mean, just joining the team, workouts, and like just moving to like, I mean, like we talked before we started, like just the time difference, and like, I mean, I'm sure the weather's different. It's just like a whole new
Yeah.
place. Like, how has that been?
Yeah, it's been actually so exciting. I think moving to a different city has been very, very exciting. And a city like Portland too, which I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this is kind of like my place. I feel like there's a huge emphasis on like being outdoors and like good food and like good
Yeah.
coffee. And I really, really like that. And I feel like that's just like, I don't know, I feel like there's like a lot of like-minded people, or like just people that enjoy the same things in the city that I do. And it's a very young city too, so that's always fun. But yeah, the weather's different. I mean, it rains here quite a bit. We're starting to get into our rainy season. But we've had like some really nice sunny days. So and I hear it's not as bad as Seattle, so hopefully that's true. And also too, like come January 1st, we're gone basically 6 months out of the year, like either at altitude or we're racing. So we don't spend a whole lot of time in Portland. Really just like the fall is like the big chunk of time we spend in Portland. But yeah, and then getting to know the team has been a lot of fun. I'm so happy to be back like on a team and have a lot of training partners. I think there's 12 of us women. So like working out with a train of 11 other women who are Olympians, American record holders, or like, you know, run super fast. Like it's just been so surreal to be a part of, and definitely inspiring, and something that I'm like, because I'm a big believer in like you surround yourself with like
With the right
people
people.
that, yeah, surround yourself with good people, surround yourself with people that you want to be like or have done things that you want to do, and that's like the best way to get somewhere. And I feel like that was a huge reason why I joined Bowerman Track Club. I mean, to work out with the American record holder in my event, like I didn't see any other group that could give me something like that. So yeah, and then workouts have been fun. I mean, it's funny, like tempo pace for now is like way faster than I've ever tempoed at. So, but Jerry has been very cautious with me and just trying to like ease me into the group. So
Yeah.
like he's been modifying some of like the strength workouts for me, which has been nice because it's been like a little bit easier of a transition and not just like thrown at me all at once. And but yeah, it's like I said, it's so nice to have like so many other training partners, because it's like I just sit behind someone and I don't have to worry about the pace.
Yeah.
I just run
Yeah.
and I know
So
that they're gonna hit the pace. So, but yeah, it's cool. I'm excited. I really hope like things will be better by next year. And like, because right now usually we're like using the gyms at Nike, but those are all closed right now. So like things are just a little bit different
yeah.
in terms of that. And but like I said, like I think for the way that things are right now, like I think we're doing the best we can, and like it's still been just fine. Like we're still able to get together and train. But yeah, so hopefully by January things will be a little bit better, and because we'll go to altitude in January. I'm not really sure where yet, but hopefully we'll still get to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's like it's weird because I like idolized a lot of these people in high
Yeah.
school and college, and to now be like training with them just feels very weird. But I'm excited. I think like there's no better coach out there. I think Jerry's philosophy is like just like with his philosophy with training is like how my college coach was with training. And I've had a lot of success with my college coach, so I feel like I'm just going to have success with Jerry as well. And then just the depth of the program. And it was like talking to somebody about this. It's like I think it's just more of like a culture. Like everyone's just on the same page. Everyone has like the same level of seriousness about training, and everyone's just like has like like the same type of goals, like making the Olympic team or medaling or
Yeah.
whatever like it is. And so it makes it a lot easier to like think that same way and like live a lifestyle that will get you there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot more than just like the training aspect of this group. I think it's more of like
The
a team
mentality.
culture, and yeah, and like how they think about things, how they live their life, and how they go about training. So
Yeah, no,
it's
and then
exciting.
obviously it's like a super experienced group, like you said. I mean, multiple Olympians, American record holders. So like, there's like so much you could just learn from them, like just every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even like obviously like just having conversation with them, but just even like watching like how they like go about like their business and their life. Like, there's so much you could pick up, like being like as young as you are. Like, I feel like yeah, that's huge that you joined them, and I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. I know I'm gonna get my butt freaking kicked here, but like that's why I came here. Like I didn't come here to just have everything be easy, like I want to
Yeah, of
be pushed,
course.
and I definitely will get that here. So I'm excited.
That's so crazy. It's crazy how like 1 year just like 1 year just changed everything. Like you literally went from watching in the stands to like now you're like in like joining Bowerman. Like
Yeah,
that's insane.
it is craziness.
So obviously, I mean, obviously, like I hope like with COVID and thing, like you get to race like you said like next year because that'll be dope. Like definitely want
Yeah,
definitely want to see you race again. I mean, how
yeah.
How long has it been since like the last time you raced?
Well, so like I did some races in like August, September to fill like contractual
Yeah,
obligations with Nike. Um, but like serious race, I haven't raced since Melrose, which was in February.
yeah,
It's been a long time, and I felt like that race too. I was like coming off of a little injury that I had to take like a week off for. So I felt like I wasn't in the best shape of my life going into that race, and just like was not fun because I just got dropped. But I just feel like especially this summer and spring too, was kind of disappointing because I was like in such good shape, and I literally was like, I'm gonna go run sub 4 like right now. Like I felt like that, and just to have like being canceled and postponed was just kind of hard. But obviously, like I know things can't be like that forever. So we'll see. I hope we'll have. I don't know about indoor season, but hopefully by the time outdoor rolls around, we'll have some opportunities.
yeah. No, I kind of feel the same way. Like I was in such good shape in the spring, and then everything got canceled, and I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
and it's hard to stay motivated too. I'm just
Yeah,
like, well, I don't really know what I'm training for anymore.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's ultimately why I decided to do like my 5th year. Is just because I kind of like after the spring, and then I kind of felt like, oh, I feel like I have like more to give. So
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to give myself that shot and see what happens.
definitely.
But yeah, so obviously, like when I finish the episode, I like to like ask my guests some questions, and I also got some questions from some people on Instagram. I'm about to pull up,
Lovely.
and I'll just kind of like just ask you a few questions to close on, and you kind of can just give me your answers. Let's see. All right,
Okay.
someone on Instagram asked, "Can you talk about your experience working with Anthony Alanis, an athletic trainer at OSU?"
Oh, yeah. Um, Anthony was my athletic trainer from basically my freshman year to my junior year. And he was like more than just an athletic trainer because he actually wrote a lot of my strength program too. And I feel like like my junior year, I was healthy the entire year. And I felt like that was because of Anthony. And yeah, like he was just very strategic in giving me exercises that kind of like focus on like full body movements and like functional movements. And we had a super good relationship, and I was like obviously so sad to see him leave the next year. He went to FSU, but yeah, I attribute like my healthiness and honestly a lot of my success because I got so strong my junior year too to him. So yeah, I miss him. I assume that was someone from Florida State because
Yeah,
they
it
probably
was. What are your go-to trainers to train in
um
for like regular runs, long runs, and like workouts? I guess.
Yeah, so usually for like regular runs, long runs, I'll either run the Pegasus 37s right now, which I'm loving, or I have been running the Vomeros right now, which they're a little bit firmer than I would like, so I am liking the Pegasus a lot more. And then for workouts, like strength days, I wear the Next Percents. And then for like speedier days, we have like these spike flats. So it's basically like the streak, like the flats,
Yeah.
but they just have like a spike plate in the bottom, which
Okay.
makes it nice to work, especially when the track is wet too. So yeah, those are my go-to.
Let's see. What's the most impactful decision you made during your college career?
Um, like on the track, I guess they're asking.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
I like literally would have to say going pro because I feel like if I didn't do that, then I would be in a completely different situation this year. I mean, Nike's not signing anybody this
Yeah.
entire year. So like that contract wouldn't have been available to me last year. There would have been no state title for me to defend. Like I just felt like going pro for me at the time made sense. And then like now looking back on it, I'm like, holy
It like
shit, thank
worked out
you, went pro.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because yeah, you COVID wasn't a thing when you went pro.
No. No, and it was like going
No.
into year, which is like huge for companies because they want to sign people going into an Olympic year. And my value too, since I just gotten fourth and won, like my value was like
Through the roof.
probably
Yeah.
highest.
Yeah.
Yeah, one I wouldn't even sign for nearly as much the next year, and I wouldn't even like had the opportunity to sign with Nike. So it all really worked out.
So, okay, another one says, what workouts have you noticed that help you improve the most?
um I feel like it's a lot of like our really like mundane strength work type workouts. So like long tempos or mile repeats. I feel like that kind of stuff just builds a good foundation, and then you can obviously add like speed work to it. But I felt like the better I get at those type of workouts, like the stronger I am, and like the better I feel like I do in racing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I saw an interview where you talked about a workout you guys used to do where it was like, I think it was like 2, 2, 4, 8 at like
Yeah,
mile race pace.
yeah,
With like
that
equal
worked
jog,
so
like equal jog in between, like that sounds painful because your mile race is as fast as fuck.
yeah. It's hard, and that's the thing about being here now in Bowerman is like everything is jog recovery or very short rest.
Yeah.
Um, so everything is like semi anaerobic workout,
Yeah.
which
So,
I think is
yeah.
tough. And the workouts are long too. Like I get like 10 to 12 miles on workout days. So trying to get adjusted to that too. And that's 10 to 12 Jerry miles, which is like usually a couple miles longer. I don't know if you've heard of Jerry miles, but they're real. And
Yeah.
yeah.
What would be your best piece of advice to runners who want to like run faster during races?
I feel like it's a lot about consistency. I think you just have to like keep putting together weeks and months that lead into years. And I feel like being consistent with your training and like uh getting your long runs up, like obviously getting mileage up in like a smart way. I think it's a lot of, and I feel like that's never what anybody wants to hear is like, well, you just have to keep training, you have to keep running. But like
That's
that's
literally
well,
it.
yeah, I was like, that's why people get to where they are.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, sorry
Like,
to break it to you,
yeah,
but
like it's like people like low key like yo, like it's running. Like running's not a complicated sport. There's not like a secret formula or
no,
anything. It's like, oh,
yeah, or
how is that person so good? And like bro, like they probably do stuff that you don't do that you should be doing to get better. Pretty much.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's
There's no
yeah, there's
quick
no like
workout.
secret. Like there's not like a secret workout that professionals do where they're like, oh yeah, we do this workout and we get so much faster. Like
Yeah,
especially with running, like especially with like applications like Strava and like Garmin and like there's like forums. Like I feel like everything is like open. Like almost like every workout anyone does, like everyone knows what it is.
yeah,
Like there's like the standard workouts are like, oh, everyone knows like what these workouts are, like stuff like that. Like there's no secrets at all.
yeah. Exactly. And I'm like, if you look at what we're doing versus what like, I don't know, Emma Coburn's group is doing or like the New Balance group in Boston's doing, like it's probably pretty similar. I'll tell you that right now,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like not like we're all doing some different things and whatever. It's just like I said, it's a lot of just consistency and just like, I don't know, making it a lifestyle too. Like I feel like
Yeah.
running just like a lifestyle. So
All right, so I'll
yeah.
ask you like a couple of non-running related questions. So
Okay.
what's your favorite Netflix show? Like right now or all time?
Um, right now I'm watching Schitt's Creek, which I actually love so much. It's hilarious. But I'm trying to think of other shows I've watched recently. Oh, I just finished Sex Education. I thought that show was so cute. Have you
Really?
seen?
I watched like a couple episodes and like that's like the one they have like the British accents and
Yeah,
stuff like that. I
I
didn't really
love.
I mean, I added it to my list and I watched a couple episodes and like I kind of liked it, but like I never like continued to watch it.
Yeah, I like stuff like that, but yeah, I like that. I feel like I start a lot of shows and then just never finish them,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's me too.
But
That's why I just
yeah,
started watching movies because like I always start shows and I never finish them.
yeah, I know. That's
All right.
always
So, what would be some like either one or some of your like go-to restaurants?
um like here in Portland.
Yeah, I was about to say. I feel like it's gonna be like so different. Like you're gonna say restaurants that like people in Florida are gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, they're not gonna know.
Yeah, give
How
all right, give me some restaurants in like Oklahoma that like if I were to go to Oklahoma, where would you tell me to go?
Okay, I would tell you to go to well, so there's this place called Good Little Eater, which is like only a lunch spot, but it's all like a homemade little kitchen. It's really, really good. That's like my favorite place to go to in Stillwater. And then there's also this place called Thai Loco, which is like Thai style tacos, which is really good too. So those would be my two go-to places. I'm still trying to figure out Portland. There's just so much here. Like
Oh, I
I can't,
bet.
I get like overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go eat, and then I look at the map and like see like, oh, what am I feeling? I'm like, there's just so much. Like, I think I'm just gonna go to the same place I went to last week. But
All right,
I need to start,
what was that?
I said I need to start branching out.
No, definitely do. So that way, when I visit Portland, you can take me to some good spots.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What would you say is like one of your biggest pet peeves?
Oh gosh. This is a good one because I feel like there have been a couple, but I feel like always when I get asked this, I'm like, it's like hard to think about on the spot.
I know.
Um, oh, I know I have a couple too. Oh, I'm like totally blanking right now. Um, oh no. I feel like I'm gonna text you later and be like, no, this is what it was. Um, but honestly, I think one of like my biggest pet peeves is like chewing loudly, like when people chew really loud
Yeah, a lot of people.
at restaurants or just like eating in general with people. I cannot stand that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And for some reason, like this isn't, I don't know if this is like really like a pet peeve, but like I don't like people like doing dishes at my house. Like, let's say I have someone over for like dinner or whatever, and they want to like, oh, they're like, oh, let me clean up. I'm like, no, like, I'm just gonna rewash your dishes, so like, you
Really?
don't have to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so anal about that. Like, I just
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I guess that's like another pet peeve is like when people try to do like my dishes. I'm like, I just like feel like they don't do a good job
I feel
ever.
that. Yeah, like if you want something done right, do it yourself.
Exactly. And it's like it's different. It's like I'm gonna like eat off that fork or off that plate. Like I don't know. So yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that's another
I
pet
feel
peeve of
that.
mine.
That's valid. That's fair.
Okay,
All
cool.
right, so then my sister on Instagram asked, "Why are you friends with me?" That was literally her question. She's like, "Why is she friends with you?"
Aw, because you're fun, you're supportive, you're a good friend. I feel like you always like wish me good luck or like said good job after like all of my races.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
I,
you're a nice
I'm
guy.
a
You're
good friend
fun.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I try my best. All right, so
I mean, there's a reason why you have such a big following in Florida. So,
yeah, I'm a nice guy. All right, last question, last question, last question.
all right.
800 or 1500? Which one you think you can beat me in?
Beat you in?
Which
Oh
one do you think you
gosh,
have the best shot of
probably.
beating me in?
What have you run in both of those events?
4 flat and 2 flat.
Oh, I don't know, honestly.
I'll race you in a 5K though.
No, you would win. Like, there's no question. Um, maybe the 800.
Low
I
key,
feel like something.
I always tell people I was like, if me and Sinclaire got on the line and raced, and like we were racing and like it was coming down to like the last 100 meters, and like she pulled up next to me, like she would beat me because like mentally I'll be like, what the fuck, like fuck, like she's gonna outkick me for sure.
That's funny. I feel like we have to do something that's like short and fat, like shorter
A
and faster. So I'd be
400.
like, what do you run the 400?
I mean, I could drive like 52, 51 low key.
Okay, I could not beat you then. I don't think it could be you. Like, you're a pretty good runner, so.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too shabby. But yeah, honestly, thank you so much. This was long overdue. This was fun.
Yes.
I always enjoy talking to you, catching up with you.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me on finally.
How's my boy Craig doing?
He's good. He needs to get out here. So he's still in Oklahoma right now. He's not gonna come to Portland until like December, but
Didn't
he's
he
doing
just
well, getting fit.
run like a sub 14 the other day?
Yeah, he ran 13:48 on the road.
Bro, on the road. What the
Yeah.
I saw that on his Instagram. I was like, yo, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. He's so fit right now.
Imagine the kind of fitness you have to be in to run sub 14 on the road, bro. By yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he had a pace on the bike, but like, that's not the same. Like when you're throwing a race with like multiple bodies.
No.
It's so much easier when there's like bodies behind you, bodies in front of you to like run a fast time compared to like literally by yourself on like a trail on a road. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So
I thought I was like, holy shit.
I know. He's doing a race, and I think it's in November. Or like I think it's like middle of November with like a lot of good runners. Like I think Gurma, who's like with the Army Project, like I think Ben Blankenship's going.
Okay.
There's some other runners. He would be mad at me for not remembering who's in this race, but I think he's gonna do really well, and I'm excited to see what he'll do. So
I'm excited.
It's a road 5K. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that dude's disgusting shape. I was like, damn, what the fuck? That's crazy.
I know. He just needs like a race, like an opportunity to like show
the opportunity. Yeah. Hopefully he gets that. That'll be dope.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Definitely.
honestly, thank you so much. Shout out to mom. You know, I love mom. Like she's always checking up on me. Shout out to Brian. He's doing big things, managing Florida. I just saw pictures of me like traveling with them to like UAV for their cross country meet. I think that's super dope.
Yeah, I know.
Amazing.
It's so cool. I'm glad that he's still involved in the track and field world, even if it's not like physically running.
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
super dope. And then also mom who's always been there. Like I feel like she's always been there for every big race. I mean, wasn't she like? Didn't she help you move as well and everything? Like
yeah, she came out here like.
She's like.
Their first week I was here and helped me. So
yeah, she's the best. She's always supporting me and my shenanigans. So I'll send her the link to this. I'm sure she's gonna love it.
Oh yeah, definitely do that.
Oh my God, my son and my daughter.
Right.
I love her.
We posting on her Facebook.
Well, once again, thank you so much for your time. You know, I'll keep in touch. I wish you the best of luck with training and anything you got coming up. And just keep being you, keep killing it. I'm excited for what the future holds.
Thanks, Jan. I really appreciate it.
All right, well, peace out.